What if the most powerful technology for changing your reality isn't outside of you, but moving through you right now? What if every problem you face, every emotion you suppress, every timeline you're stuck in, is tied to one unconscious act you repeat 20,000 times a day? Your breath. You see, you've been taught how to think, how to work, how to perform, but never how to breathe. And yet, breath is the original code. It's the hidden interface between your subconscious mind, your energy field, and the quantum universe. The ancients knew this. They breathed not just to survive, but to transcend. In temples, in caves, in sacred circles, they practiced rhythms that unlocked the nervous system, rewired belief systems, and tuned the soul to higher dimensions. Today, science is finally catching up. From vagus nerve activation to brainwave shifts, breath has proven itself to be the master key to your inner technology. But we forgot. We adapted to shallow, stress-driven breathing that keeps us stuck in survival mode, and thus stuck in low vibrational realities. This episode is your wake-up breath, the moment you reclaim what was always yours. Because when you learn to breathe like the ancients, you don't just calm down, you rewire your entire reality. Long before breath was seen as just an autonomic process, ancient mystics recognized it as a sacred force. Prana, ruach, ki, spiritus. Different cultures, same truth. Breath was never just air, it was consciousness in motion. To inhale was to receive life, to exhale, to surrender control. The ancients didn't breathe unconsciously. They breathed as if the universe depended on it, because it did. In Egypt, initiates of the mystery schools used breath to tune themselves into higher frequencies. They believed that each inhale aligned their soul with the cosmic order, the Ma'at. In India, yogis spoke of pranayama not just as health practice, but as a tool to transcend ego. And the Taoists mapped energy meridians that could be activated by slow, rhythmic breathing, turning the body into a temple of flowing light. Science is only now catching up. Every breath alters brainwave states. Deep intentional breathing slows the beta mind, our busy surface-level awareness, and opens doors into alpha and theta states, where creativity, intuition, and healing reside. Ancient cultures knew this intuitively. They built temples, rituals, and initiations around the breath because they knew, control the breath and you control reality. When a child is born, its first breath signals life. But in our rush to grow up, we forget that sacred rhythm. Shallow breathing becomes the norm. We tense, we fear, we try to think our way out of problems instead of breathing our way back to truth. The breath is the first thing we do and the last thing we'll do, but in between, we rarely master it. To awaken is to remember what breath truly is, a carrier of intention. Each inhale is a moment of choice, each exhale a release of limitation. This is not metaphor, it's mechanics. Breath travels faster than thought. It impacts heart rate, neurochemistry, and energetic coherence in real time. The ancients saw this not as mystical poetry, but as lived reality. The question isn't whether breath is powerful, it's whether we're finally ready to reclaim that power. Are we willing to unlearn the shallow habits of survival breathing and relearn the deep, intelligent breathing of awakening? Because in every conscious breath lies a gateway, not just to calm, but to the quantum fabric of creation itself. For centuries, the modern world has slowly distanced itself from the sacred wisdom of the breath. In our race toward industrial progress, we traded presence for productivity, intuition for intellect, and natural rhythms for artificial urgency. Breathing, once a holy act, became shallow, rushed, and unconscious. This isn't just a physical issue, it's a metaphysical crisis. Because how we breathe determines how we be. In high-stress cultures, the breath becomes fragmented. Mouth breathing, chest breathing, and erratic patterns trigger the sympathetic nervous system. the fight or flight mode. Cortisol rises, muscles tighten, the mind spirals. We become prisoners of survival states, even in moments of safety. It's not just trauma doing this, it's the way we breathe through that trauma day after day. Modern medicine rarely addresses this. It treats symptoms, anxiety, fatigue, insomnia, with pills. But ancient wisdom reminds us the breath is the original medicine. Deep diaphragmatic breathing stimulates the vagus nerve, shifts us into parasympathetic rest, and activates self-repair mechanisms. We've forgotten this not because it stopped working, but because we stopped valuing stillness. Our culture rewards shallow breathers. Think of the fast talker, the power hustler, the boardroom breath holder. We're trained to suppress, to hold it in, to push through. But ancient systems trained the opposite: presence, expansion, trust in the flow. The more you open the breath, the more you open the field of infinite possibility. And here lies the paradox. The breath is both primal and cosmic. It grounds us into the body, yet tunes us to the divine. When hijacked by stress, it becomes our jailer. But when reclaimed through awareness, it becomes our liberator. The Western world didn't just forget how to breathe, it forgot why we breathe. So now the invitation is clear: to pause, to feel, to reclaim what was stolen, not by force, but by softness. To breathe not like a machine, but like a mystic. Before there were tuning forks or audio devices, before science named frequency, the ancients were already tuning their inner worlds. Through breath, they knew that every breath carried not just oxygen, but vibration, that to shift one's breathing pattern was to shift one's entire energetic state. Breath was not merely survival, it was attunement to higher consciousness. Modern physics confirms what mystics long declared: everything is vibration. Every thought, every emotion, every atom is in motion. The law of vibration teaches that nothing rests. The question is not if you're vibrating, but at what frequency. And breath is the dial. It can raise your frequency, dissolve emotional stagnation, and bring coherence between your inner and outer realities. When you breathe shallowly, you stay in low-frequency states: fear, anxiety, confusion. But when you breathe deeply, slow, rhythmic, intentional, you raise your signal. You synchronize with the higher harmonics of peace, clarity, and creation. The breath acts like a radio antenna, tuning you into the quantum field where potential becomes reality. There's a reason breathwork can cause spontaneous tears, visions, or sensations of oneness. It's not imagination, it's entrainment. Your nervous system, your brainwaves, and your electromagnetic field all begin to harmonize. Greg Braden speaks of this as coherence, where your heart, brain, and body become aligned with intention, and breath is the key to unlocking that state. Even shamans and yogis have used breath to shift dimensions. Through specific patterns like circular breathing, breath holds, or alternate nostril techniques, they enter altered states, gain insight, and tap into parallel timelines. They're not escaping reality, they're tuning into deeper versions of it, realities that have always been available, just waiting for the right frequency. So the breath isn't just about relaxation, it's about transformation. It's about choosing in each inhale the version of yourself you wish to embody. Want to shift realities? Start by shifting your rhythm, because the breath is the sacred instrument, and you are the musician. The yogis of ancient India were not merely flexible bodies. They were frequency engineers, masters of subtle energy. Their breathwork system, pranayama, was never just about oxygenation. It was a science of spiritual ignition. Prana means life force, and ayama means expansion. Together, pranayama means the expansion of life energy via the breath, a bridge between body and cosmos. What's remarkable is how modern neuroscience now validates these ancient insights. When you practice controlled breathing, such as equal inhale and exhale, or longer exhale, you stimulate the vagus nerve. This calms the sympathetic nervous system and activates the parasympathetic. In simpler terms, you exit fight or flight mode and enter a state of healing and regeneration. But there's more. Breath also rewires brainwave states. Inhale deeply, and you generate alertness. Exhale slowly, and you sink into alpha or theta states, those mystical realms of creativity and subconscious reprogramming. Joe Dispenza calls this the gateway to the quantum field. Yogis knew this without EEGs or MRIs. They felt it in the stillness. Heart-brain coherence, as taught by Greg Braden and the HeartMath Institute, is another revelation. When the breath becomes rhythmic, the heart's electromagnetic field expands. That field affects not just your body, but the environment around you. Emotions stabilize, intuition rises, manifestation becomes more fluid because your inner signal is clean and consistent. So when you sit in pranayama, you're not just calming down, you're retuning your entire biofield. You're giving the body the message. It is safe to evolve. You're unlocking your nervous system's true potential, not just to survive stress, but to transcend the frequency of stress altogether. What the ancient sages practiced in caves and temples can now be practiced in your bedroom or during a break at work. The breath is timeless. The nervous system is programmable, and every cycle of pranayama is a vote for your highest timeline. The subconscious mind is not a storage closet, it's the architect of your reality. It governs 95% of your behaviors, beliefs, and emotional reactions. And here's the truth they never taught in school: the subconscious doesn't speak language. It speaks energy, and breath is its native tongue. Every breath you take is a signal. Shallow, erratic breathing tells the subconscious, we're in danger, survive. Deep, coherent breathing tells it, we're safe, rewire. This is the overlooked key in manifestation work. You can affirm all you want, but if your breath is trapped in fear patterns, your body won't believe your words, because breath is the proof your subconscious listens to. Bruce Lipton taught that subconscious programs form primarily in early childhood through repetition and emotional charge, but he also explained that those programs can be overwritten through altered states of consciousness, like theta brainwaves. And breath is one of the fastest ways to access that doorway without hypnosis or external tools. By pairing breathwork with intention, you enter a powerful alchemical process. With each inhale, you draw in new potential. With each exhale, you let go of old scripts. It's not just symbolic, it's neurological. Neural pathways weaken when they're not reinforced. Breath slows down the mental noise and makes space for new imprints. Consider the power of combining a deep, rhythmic breath with a felt affirmation like, I am safe, I am free, I create my reality. Not just thinking it, but feeling it with your whole nervous system. That's when the subconscious listens. That's when the quantum responds. So if you want to reprogram your life, don't start with thought alone. Start with breath, because until the body believes you're safe, the mind won't change. And breath is the most ancient, immediate way to remind the body that transformation is not only possible, it's already happening. In the realm of quantum physics, the observer effect reveals something astonishing. The very act of observing a particle influences its behavior. Mystics knew this long ago, not in laboratories, but in meditation halls. What you watch, you shape. What you witness, you change. And in the practice of conscious breath, awareness and energy meet in a sacred dance. This is where the concept of the observer breath emerges, a way of breathing where you're not just inhaling air, but observing your internal universe. No judgment, no force, just presence. When you become the watcher of your breath, you step out of the identity of the doer and into the field of awareness where creation unfolds effortlessly. In this state, breath becomes the lens through which you observe your thoughts, emotions, and sensations without being consumed by them. The breath is steady, the body follows, and soon the mind realizes it doesn't have to grip so tightly. This is the essence of detachment, not withdrawal, but witnessing. And witnessing brings energetic shift. This practice opens the door to profound inner neutrality, not apathy, but the kind of stillness that allows truth to rise. Carl Jung spoke of the unconscious becoming conscious. The observer breath is how that process begins. You watch your fear without fighting it. You breathe with your pain instead of running from it. And in doing so, you transmute it. From a vibrational perspective, this merges the law of vibration with the law of mentalism. Your thoughts create, your energy resonates, but when you breathe with awareness, you rise above both. You become the chooser. The field no longer dictates your state. You influence the field through calm observation. So next time you're overwhelmed, don't just take a breath, witness the breath. Sit with it, feel it rise and fall like the tide. Let your awareness rest inside it like a boat on still water. And you'll discover what sages have always known. The breath is not just life, it's the portal through which you remember who you are. The mystical doesn't have to be distant. In truth, sacred breathwork is most potent not in temples or retreats, but in your kitchen, your car, your quiet moments before sleep. The ancients designed breath rituals not to escape life, but to reshape it from within. Breath was a spiritual tool and a daily technology for tuning reality. One of the simplest and most powerful is the 4-7-8 breath. Inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 7, exhale for 8. This elongates the exhale, signals safety to the nervous system, and opens the subconscious to new imprints. When paired with a clear intention, this technique turns the body into an antenna of attraction. You're no longer reacting, you're broadcasting. Another potent ritual is box breathing. Inhale for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 4, hold for 4. Used by both ancient monks and modern Navy SEALs, this pattern creates balance and coherence. Try it before important conversations or creative work. You'll notice your energy stabilize, your focus sharpen, and your intuition rise. Nadi Shodhana, or alternate nostril breathing, is a yogic practice that harmonizes left and right brain hemispheres. It calms emotional turbulence and clarifies perception. 10 rounds in the morning can change the trajectory of your entire day. You're not just clearing airways, you're clearing energetic pathways. Even more transformative are breath holds, where after a full exhale, you pause and simply exist. This mimics states of stillness between thoughts, breaths, and dimensions. In that pause, time slows. The veil thins. You may feel tingling, peace, or insights arise. That's the space where intentions crystallize into form. Each of these rituals is simple, but their power lies in consistency. Breath isn't a one-time tool, it's a daily initiation, and every session is an opportunity to shift timelines, upgrade your emotional baseline, and align your inner world with the reality you choose to live in. At some point, the breath stops being a practice and starts becoming your identity. You no longer do breath work. You are breathwork. Your entire life becomes an extension of the breath, fluid, intentional, receptive, and powerful. This is the moment you cross the threshold from seeker to creator, from one who reacts to reality to one who shapes it. When breath is mastered, presence deepens. You begin to live in that subtle stillness between inhale and exhale, between thought and action. That space is not empty. It is rich with potential. As Sri Aurobindo once wrote, "The breath is the thread on which the beads of existence are strung, and when you become aware of that thread, you begin weaving new patterns of reality. You wake up and tune your frequency before checking your phone. You feel emotions as waves, but no longer drown in them. You speak less from urgency, more from resonance. Your choices reflect coherence rather than chaos. Why? Because your breath has become the metronome of your consciousness, and when your breath is steady, your life becomes symphonic. Living as a conscious creator means more than just manifesting desires. It means walking as someone who knows the field is listening, who breathes with intention, speaks with vibration, and acts with energetic alignment. It's not perfection, it's awareness. It's catching yourself slipping into stress and returning gently, powerfully to the breath. The ancients called this state Sahaja Samadhi, natural integrated awakening. It's not about escaping the world, it's about embodying your highest self within it. Breath is the chariot, consciousness is the driver, and reality, it becomes the unfolding story of your frequency. So when someone asks, what changed? You'll know the answer. It wasn't a book, it wasn't a guru. It was something far older, far closer. You remembered how to breathe, and through it, remembered who you are. Somewhere along the way, we lost the rhythm of the breath, and with it the rhythm of life itself. We began to breathe like machines, and forgot we were miracles. But now you know, now you remember, that the breath is not just something you do, it's something you are. A living current of intelligence, always ready to guide you back to presence, to power, to possibility. The breath doesn't ask for belief, it asks for awareness. It's not a philosophy, it's a frequency. And the moment you begin to breathe with intention, you begin to reshape the field around you, not through force, but through resonance. You become the quiet storm, the stillness that bends reality. So take a moment right now and inhale as if the universe is listening, because it is. And as you exhale, know this, you are not broken, you are not behind. You were simply breathing unconsciously, and now you're awake. Let this breath be your initiation. If this resonated with you, breathe deeper into your power and subscribe to the Cosmic Awakening channel. Because every week we unlock another layer of the infinite within you.